The carnivorous women are like, "Come here, motherfucker," and the guys are like, "Ee." Yeah. Yo, what's going on, everyone? Welcome to episode 141, the cognac episode. We get into some cognac. I didn't drink this whole fucking thing, but I did drink some cognac on this episode. Lots of information, a few really interesting YouTube channels, articles as well, some serious, some lighthearted, more dating Japanese women advice for you guys. Again, I am I'm what you got, as far as advice on dating Japanese women, for better or for worse, apparently, but it's cool. It's a fun topic. I really enjoy talking about it, sharing my experience, my insight, on what I think is going down in these streets. Before we get into it, again, please subscribe, please comment. Thank you guys for taking the time. You guys shout out Rod, guys shout out Joshua. Lots of long, really in-depth comments. I would say, like, if it's nothing personal, or nothing, kind of private, maybe, this trend for especially you guys, leaving messages on the in the comment section might be a possible good idea, so that other people can kind of follow that along. If it's up with you guys, just let me know. Whatever. Private email, questionsforakil.com, or not questionsforakil.com, questionsforakil@gmail.com, and or in the comment section, whatever you guys feel. Not only you two guys, but whoever else will be totally cool with me. So, all right, this is a long ass intro. Please like, comment, share, and enjoy. Oh man, hey, what's happening? What's happening, people? Welcome to episode 141. This is 141 of the podcast. Thank you guys on YouTube. Thank you guys listening in audio, wherever you're at, wherever you are. Okay, I gotta move this around. This is already gonna be a recipe for disaster. Hold I'll show you what I got in a second. But cheers to you guys. Whew, I got a little cognac tonight. We getting classy on this motherfucker. I bought some cognac. It has no. You might be wondering why it doesn't have a cap on it. Is because I bought this cognac online. Actually, on a sorry, YouTube is I adjust everything. I bought this cognac online on a on Yahoo auction, because Yahoo is like running things in Japan still. It's kind of weird. I'm not even gonna get into it right now. But basically, I got it on Yahoo auction. So, I got it, pretty affordable XO whiskey. Not whiskey. What I'm talking about, cognac. But the cork, I guess it's old bottle. So the cork was I'm not gonna say rotted, but it was fucked up. So I had to like take out the cork and filter it out and all that stuff. So just for the podcast, like, I'm doing it with the bottle open, and I gotta get this shit away from me before, to make sure it stays in the bottle. Then the podcast will get really interesting. But it's all right. So I was trying to get some Remy Martin XO, but it's a little bit above my price range. Like, I'm not like fully committed to getting a bottle of XO whiskey. Cognac. So I'm thinking about some Cavassier, but I heard like an old story about Cavassier, which kind of makes me be like, I don't know if I want to support it, but I don't know, whatever. Anyway, so the chemist, I got another small bottle of XO Superior, because the XO, I was like, it's not really, XO-ish, if you know what I'm saying. So I forgot to ask my dad. Dad, I'll probably have to ask you about XO next. If you're listening to this, next time I talk to you, I'll call you tomorrow. I'll try and remember. You're not going to hear this before then, but I want to know if you've heard of this cognac, and if so, is it just dirt cheap, or am I just drinking like the bullshit, or not? I got the feeling I'm drinking the bullshit, but so I'm gonna get the XO Superior and see if there's any difference in that. But I'm at the stage in my life where I'm trying to drink move on up to some XO. So we'll see. But it's good enough to keep me warm and keep the juices flowing. We've got some good shit going on. Because it's Halloween. Happy Halloween. It does not feel like Halloween at all here. I was just, it's funny because I was just looking at the stream of Shibuya. If you're a long-time listener, you know every year I do some type of Halloween kind of thing. I'm running out of material of it because I gave y'all all my good shit like the first couple of years, and now I'm like, fuck, what the fuck am I gonna talk about? So yeah, just a quick up to the minute update on what's going on in Shibuya, even though this is gonna come out after Halloween. Pretty much like it's something interesting that I was seeing because basically, the government, the local government, I don't know if I've said it on the previous podcast, has really been like trying to discourage people, do virtual Halloween in Shibuya. Don't fucking come here. We just don't want to spread coronavirus if possible and blah, blah, blah. So I was kind of been wondering the whole week, like, well, how many people are gonna pop up there? If you've known previous years, Halloween in Shibuya is pretty intense. If you don't know what Shibuya is like, if you watch any documentary or anything related on Tokyo at all, more than likely you're going to see some type of footage of Shibuya. It's like kind of the epicenter of young people party culture in Tokyo. It's where you get your shits and giggles, where I spent like a lot of my 20s. I went there the other day to take care of some shit, and like some of the places like I used to, get sloppy in have closed down because of the virus. One place, the whole building is just gone. Like I was just like, oh shit, this is a wrap. I took a picture and sent it to one of my friends, like, yo, it's a wrap for that place. So, but hey, whatever, it be's like that. Like I ain't in these streets anymore anyway. I'm in here drinking fucking cognac, talking to you guys, on my fucking sofa. So, yeah. So that was, Shibuya, right? So Shibuya is become the epicenter of Halloween. Pretty much it's just a huge cosplay party. I'm gonna put this on the sofa, see if it lasts. All right, that feels like a bad idea. Okay. All right, it's just become the epicenter of Halloween culture here in Tokyo, which is basically a huge cosplay party for people in their 20s and late teens. That's pretty much what it is, for the most part at night. And this year, because of the corona situation, the police and the local government have really been discouraging everyone from going there and congregating there, because there's literally tens of thousands of people swarming the motherfucker. Just Google Shibuya. If you're a new listener, just Google SHIBUA Halloween 2019, 2018, 2017 even, and you'll see a bunch of videos and shit. Each year it's gotten bigger, so if you want to see the most footage, it'll probably be 2018, 2019. But this year is completely different, and so I was interested to see like how many people would heed the warning to stay away from Shibuya. And I logged on earlier at about, I think like I got back home like 8 o'clock or something like that. And I was surprised, like, there was a huge police presence out blocking off the intersection, Center Guy, which is like the main intersection when you come towards Shibuya Station. It's the busiest intersection in the world. That's, the whole thing. It's busy as fuck. Tons of people fly by there. Fly through there, if you will. So they had police out there blocking people off, cordoning off the situation. I was like, oh shit, they got the area on lock. I heard that they would have an increased police presence on there, not like harassing people, like get the fuck out of here with like their tasers out or SWAT team type shit, but just like making sure everything is like orderly. In previous years, I believe the police were there all night. So I was kind of surprised just before, checking in with you guys. I wanted to give you guys some inside information on what's going down. So I just checked in one more time, and all the fucking police are gone. Like, all the police are gone. I don't know where the police are. I don't know what the fuck happened, but I'm guessing like 10:30, 11 o'clock, they just dipped out. Which makes, and so there's like sprinkles of young people, a lot more young people. After I get off of this, I'll probably just check it one more time, because that'll be after last train. Which means like the people who are in Shibuya are basically pretty much stuck there until morning. You also gotta remember there's people coming in, just by the looks of it. some of the people like dancing around Center Guy, like, yay, I'm in Center Guy, and taking pictures and stuff like that. I'm guessing they're coming from out of town, Saitama, Chiba, other parts of Kanagawa, a bit further into the suburbs and or rural parts of the Kanto area, which is kind of like the Tokyo metropolitan area. They don't really get a chance to come into the city as much, especially with Corona. So going to Shibuya is like really special for them. I'm not trying to sound condescending. This sounds kind of condescending because, like, I'm a Shibuya OG. I've been doing that shit since 2004. Just saying. That does sound condescending. But it's the fucking truth. I'm an OG at this shit. Like, but no, no. So, I could tell by the body language and how some of the people were reacting that they normally don't really come to Shibuya or haven't been to Shibuya for a long time. And if you think about it, it's been like 6 months. It'll be exactly 6 months since Tokyo went into kind of semi-lockdown type situation. So people that don't have a chance to come into Tokyo don't have a chance to come into the city, especially don't have a chance to come into Shibuya. Plus, you have the added like excitement of Halloween. They're just like, fuck it, I'm doing it. I don't give a fuck about anything. So, like, all right, they're in Center Guy. But it's just interesting that the police just got the fuck out of Dodge. Like, I was trying to think, I was sitting there just watching this shit for like 10 minutes. Like, it's like 11:30. I'm starting a little bit later because I was just watching this stream. Like, yo, why did the police fucking do that? Like, why did they show such a... But again, remember, you gotta go back to one of my original statements, my tenets of life in Japan. Japanese police are very different than police in America and a lot of other Western countries. The police here are not law enforcers. They're peacekeepers. That's their job, right? They're not going there shoving people around, telling them to get the fuck out of here, which, stop trying to spread the Rona and get your ass at home. They're not doing that. They're just trying to make sure people don't jaywalk. And of course, as soon as they left, people were jaywalking. People were one dude was in the street with like a Kei Nishikori, which is like he's a famous Japanese tennis player. He's in the middle of the fucking street, like pretending to play tennis. People running all around, just doing dumb shit, like as they would do. Before Japan, that's kind of a big deal, But if there was a police presence there, they wouldn't be happening. So I was just sitting there, just trying to think, like, what is the logic behind the police pulling out of Shibuya at, like, I don't know exactly what time they did, but like, I would somewhere between 8 and 11 something at night, because it was like on the stream I saw there was not a police officer anywhere in sight, like. And earlier this evening when I logged on, there were like, I saw in that one intersection, I probably estimate between 30 and 50 police officers. 30 to 50 police officers pulled out, nobody there, not a fucking uniform in sight. That's kind of, interesting. So I was trying to think, like, why? And the only thing I came up with was for the police officer safety, right? The police department doesn't want to be responsible for any other police officers possibly getting infected by these dirty ass young people with their fucking corona infested uniform. Sorry, I'm going on with these dirty ass young people with their corona infested, Halloween costumes. They want to get them. I don't know, but that would be my guess. Twofold. One, yeah, they just don't want to expose their officers to any more possible corona infection. Another possibility is, it's more of like a PR thing. Like, you got to think about it, right? Like, Japanese police are there, again, to keep the peace. But my theory would be that another contributing factor to it is kind of any of the young people going to Shibuya late at night are going there specifically for the purpose of participating in Shibuya Halloween. Those people are kind of going against society, if you will. They're engaging in mild antisocial behavior. It's already been established that the facilities and the socially accepted norm is not to go there. So anyone going there is kind of going against society. So the police generally wouldn't be willing to protect those people is kind of, I think, another contributing factor to it from the high up people. Like, not like fuck them, let them burn, but like, why do we have to, for our officers, why do we have to put our officers in the line for people that don't want to take care of themselves? Is kind of how it would think, how I think it would go, those discussions would go down, until a respectable hour, we're out there, protecting the general public. But after that, fuck them. Like, not literally fuck them, but, anyone who's out there at that time is doing it on their own accord and in defiance of kind of the government mandated guidelines. So whatever consequences they have to deal with, let them deal with it. They're kind of on their own. And they just turn a blind eye to it. It's kind of turn their back on it. It's kind of what I'm getting a suspicion is going on. Of course, there's no way for me to verify this. This is all my, cognac induced bullshit ass theory, but I kind of have a sinking suspicion it kind of went down like that. So, so yeah, that's Shibuya, Halloween in Shibuya this year, or Halloween in Tokyo this year. That's pretty much what it's come down to. I'm not even gonna check this shit again. I'll check it after I get offline, because I got a bunch of other shit to talk to you guys about. Something really interesting to talk to you guys about too. And I'm probably already like 15-20 minutes into this damn thing. Yep, see, I'm already 15 minutes in. Let me just keep it rolling. All right. So speaking of walking through Tokyo, and not only Tokyo, different areas in Japan. This popped up on my I think it was on my TV news feeds, because I got the Facebook. I got balling. I got the YouTube app on my TV on my TV. Yeah, it just popped up on my timeline for some reason. And I just clicked on it, and it was a really interesting YouTube channel. One of them is Japan 4K. Again, please check the description. There's a link in the description. Another one, when I was searching for Japan 4K, I think it was Virtual Japan is the other one. But I put links to both channels. I wish I had this shit when I was moving here, so I could kind of know what I was getting myself into. But again, there was no YouTube. When I moved here, there was just maybe a couple of still pictures, but I can't even remember. But it's literally people taking virtual tours through different parts of Tokyo, and the other one is different parts of Japan. So like, it's just someone walking around Shibuya, walking around Ginza, walking around Shinjuku, and it's I was sitting there watching it for like quite a few minutes actually, and it was really relaxing. Areas I'm like, but in my mind, I'm like, why are you taking that street? Like, there's nothing up there. Like, some parts are like, why are you going that way? Like, go the more interesting way. But, it does give you, a much more of a sense of different parts of Tokyo. Some areas that you've heard me talk about: Shibuya, Jiyugaoka, Ginza, Shinjuku, Ikebukuro. I'm thinking I was flirting with the idea of doing some reviews of these. Again, I'm just throwing ideas. Don't expect any of this shit, okay? Please don't. I'm just throwing these random ideas out. Just keeping them active in my head, so that when I do have time, I'll kind of get them flowing. Like this week, even I just replied to a few comments from the previous episode. My bad, especially our longtime listeners, Joshua and Rod. My bad about the late comments. I just gotta say it publicly, because I didn't tell you guys, catch you guys up. Oh yeah, speaking of this, Dad, if you're listening, I want you, or watching, or both, or I don't know, I want you to know this too. Yes, I had a pretty busy week just with doing dad stuff. Work's pretty busy now. Like, my schedule just filled up at the end of the month. It kind of filled up. So, I just working, coming home, taking care of family stuff. And we got like a small backyard, and we had a shed that we're kind of replacing, a small shed, a Japanese size shed. So there's a carpenter, that came through, family friend, I guess. And so I helped him out. Like, he's like an older guy in his 60s. And so I've met him a few times before, but before I hit my Costco run one morning on my day off the other day, I helped him out. And talking specifically to my dad, I felt really proud, because if you guys know, my dad's a carpenter, and semi-retired carpenter. I don't know how much my dad works now, but a master carpenter, and he, my first jobs were working with him as a kid, like I've been working since I was 12 years old. I still remember the first day I worked and I was like, what the fuck did I get myself into? Like, he's just like, you come to work with me. 'Cause I was just complaining to him about being on summer vacation the whole time. And I was like, I'm so bored. And then one day he was like, all right, fine, you're coming to work with me tomorrow. I was like, oh shit, I almost hit a brick. But 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 no, it was like I told him like a few I don't know, maybe a year or two ago. That was honestly him taking me to work with him was probably the most important thing that he taught me in life. You taught me, Dad. I've told you this probably before. I don't know if you remember or not, but you taught me work ethic. It did. And me working, as I was helping him. It's not a big shed at all. Don't think like an American Western side shed at all. It's like a small shed. But like yeah, it was interesting doing it for a few different reasons. Like one, I was like, I'm working with master carpenters helping out master carpenters on 2 different continents in 2 different countries in 2 different languages. That's interesting. That was one interesting thing. And the second thing is, you guys are all the same. Like helping him out like reminded me so much of helping out my dad like back in the day. He's like talking to him. I just know, just shut the fuck up. Don't ask him any questions. When he's talking to himself, asking himself questions, don't say shit. Don't try to help him figure anything out. Like, he's just figuring it. He has his process, and so like I just sit there and, kind of clear a path for him, prepare his materials for him, getting yelled at by my dad, like, dad, like all that stuff. I think I made you proud because, he told, my mother-in-law, he was like, Akil saved me, because the project was maybe a bit too big for one person to do on his own. He needed like 1.5 persons to do it. Dad, you can imagine what I'm saying. So like 2 people, it was done quite smoothly, but 1 person, it would be like extremely difficult to do. I mean, he came before and laid the foundation, but putting the whole thing together, putting the roof on and stuff like that. It's like about a 6-foot shed, a little bit, about 6 foot plus shed. Yeah. So, yeah. But just being able to, have sense about that type of project and what needs to be done, and what needs to be done next, and how to help him out, so that the job went smoothly, made me feel a sense of pride and appreciation for the experience I had with my dad as a kid. It's always funny, like whenever I go back to America, whenever the next time I go back to America is, it's just funny, like my dad's got some project he wants me to do, and it's just, like 5 minutes after I come through the door, it's like, okay, hey, grab this, do that, move this around. Like, I'm like, all right, cool, go. He's like, all right, hurry up, you gotta do this, you gotta, squeeze the mop this way. I'm like, all right, Dad, my bad. Like, but I know, like, it's kind of a learning process. It's the way we communicate, but it makes me smile on the inside, like, like good to be home kind of thing, get me a little misty eyed. I'm not gonna cry on here, but it does make me, appreciate it. And Dad, I love you. If you listen, I love you, Dad. I love you for who you are. I love you for the lessons you taught me. And yeah, I do appreciate, those times, and think about when during the time it was fucking crazy, like I got blisters on my thumbs, I'm carrying heavy shit like up ladders. My dad's like, hurry the fuck up, and I'm like, I'm afraid of heights, Dad. Like, don't you know this? You got me on this roof carrying buckets. Like, what the fuck? but it's good memories now, and just even though I was tired and I had like to put together another piece of furniture later on that day, just I knew like the Japanese carpenter could understand, like I knew what the fuck I was doing. I wasn't just like a useless body, like I was some use. Like, okay, no, I can carry this. Okay, you want me to screw this in? Like knowing when like he's trying to do something, I need to hold this so that he can do that. I need to, get this ready so that he's ready to do this. Put it this way so it can be put in, like that type of shit, that type of sense. I kind of got instilled in me from my experience with my dad, on some level. I'm not like I said, I'm not going to build a fucking house on my own, but I can put together a decent piece of fucking IKEA furniture, and I can I can at least help a person out who knows what the fuck they're doing, and be, I would say, significantly more useful than the average person walking off the street. So that felt good to be able to do that. And to, in Japan is the kind of country where like the way you are and the way you carry yourself, your atmosphere reflects upon the people, yourself, your history, your family, the type of person you are. So I knew like that, the conversation, like after I left and went to Costco, they were having a conversation about me and about my family and about my dad and about, my family history, which kind of felt good. It did feel good, and it does feel good, and it makes me kind of proud that I had that experience growing up. And so thank you, Dad. Thank you. Cheers to you. Some XO cognac, which might or might not be good. Okay. So that's pretty much what's been going on with me. Let me pour myself another drink. Hold on. Let me put this mic down and pour myself another drink. Now I'm going to do this one-handed, and I'm not going to spill it. I'm not going to spill my yak. Boom. Not going to spill my yak. Can't do that. All right. So let's get into. Let me see what else we got. Yeah. So check it out. Walking through Japan. Those two different channels. Just fish around. You'll find some areas. You'll find some things that I think you'll like. And down the road, I might toy with the idea of guiding you guys through some different areas and showing you guys what I see. Excuse me. Okay, let's get to the main event. No. Hold on. Oh yeah. Before that, let's get to some bullshit. All right, some bullshit ass news is that I can't remember if I've talked about it on this forum, but yeah, I try to stay away from radioactive Fukushima type shit, but this one is something that's been on my radar for quite a while, and it seems like it's finally coming to a head. If you don't know, of course you know about, the 9 years ago, the Great East Japan earthquake, which I was here for. Not fun. The Fukushima nuclear power plant incident, not fun. So during that time, the cleanup effort for the nuclear power plant has produced a shit ton of contaminated water. Now, because, the nuclear, I'll go deeper into it. Basically the nuclear rods that are in the disabled power plant are still fucking radioactive, which means they generate a shit ton of heat, which means to keep them from, I guess, melting down, they're constantly pumping water into the power plant. And that's what's been going on for the past 9 years. Now, you might think, great, cool, keep it from melting down. But these are radioactive rods. So once the water is introduced to the radioactive rods, it becomes radioactive water, right? Now, this is where the shit gets kind of fishy because, after that, it can't be used. So all this radioactive water for the past 9 years has basically been stored in big ass barrels, right? And they say it's gone through some decontamination process, but I'm gonna be 100 with you. I don't trust the government telling you any of that bullshit. Like, yeah, it's safe. Yeah, it's fine. We've all heard that before from various different governments, various different countries. So I don't trust shit, right? Well, now, the government, for some time, there's been an internal kind of discussion what to do with the water. Is quote unquote safe to release into the ocean. You can see where this is going. So, there have been several legal battles with it, blah, blah, blah. It's kind of been pushed and kicked down the can. Recently, I put a link to the article. The new Prime Minister Suga has kind of said that in the near future, they're going to resolve the issue. In my opinion, it means like they're just going to say fuck it and dump all this radioactive water into the ocean. That's kind of what I think is going to happen, right? Like, I'm fucking sure it's going to happen. Like, how I guess it would go down is I'm guessing more towards the end of his term as prime minister, because of course I would think he wants to stay prime minister, but if he is for that at the end of this year, I mean, he's probably got about a year as prime minister. My guess is if towards the end of the year, he's not, it doesn't look like he's going to be able to hold on to the seat, or, the powers that be, because he's not really a minted family politician, if you will. So he doesn't have that bloodline. So if there's someone else up to bat and they're ready to usher him out, they'll just say, okay, fuck it. While you're here, go ahead and release all that nuclear fucking waste water into the ocean and say it's safe. And then and then the next person will come in. So they'll just get him to do all the fucking dirty work. He's doing all the groundwork, all the dirty work for the party. I'm guessing in the hopes that he can hold on to the seat even longer. I'm not quite sure if that will happen, just because he doesn't have the history, the pedigree, if you will. He's been doing the work. He's trying to continue Prime Minister Abe's legacy, but I don't know. But honestly, that's what I think is going to happen. I think at some point in time, next year, if you will, they're going to sneak it in and be like, yeah, we're just going to release all this fucking water. I heard they have like 1,000, I believe the article, I read it like several days ago, off the top of my head, like 1,000 barrels, like these are fucking huge, not barrels, like tankers, like water tankers full. I've seen pictures of them, like big fucking tankers, I would even call them barrels of radioactive water. They say, okay, I'm not gonna say radioactive, I'll just say contaminated water or decontaminated water. Let's just keep it PC. But yeah, I've just kind of avoided the topic because it's it's just like but yeah, I think they're just gonna release that shit into the ocean, and which kind of sucks. You can go ahead and do your own research on the topic. I'm sure if you type in Fukushima water decontaminated ocean, some shit like that, it'll come up, right? The article I have is there. So yeah. Let me check the time. So okay, all right, cool. We're still recording. Just got, after that one time that the shit stopped, I gotta always check. But yeah, that's like a bummer kind of story. So I'm guessing it'll happen sometime next year. I'll keep you posted if and when it does, for some bullshit. But okay, before I get out of here, I got the main event topic. Yeah, I think that's it. The main event topic, Joshua. We're gonna talk. We're gonna do another Nobita video. I got notes. Nate Dogg. That's my Nate Dogg impression. Pretty terrible. Okay, but rest in peace, Nate Dogg. But Nobita did, it just, again, popped up on my timeline, again, because I guess I was looking at some Nobita stuff. If you don't know, Nobita is a Japanese YouTuber who YouTubes in English. He has a very Japanese pronunciation and intonation, but his English is very good. He's a very clever, witty guy. I enjoy watching his stuff. And him and the other guy, fuck, I forgot the other guy's name right now because I'm drinking cognac. But he also tackles a lot of issues that I really like. But this Nobita one, and Nobita is pretty sarcastic as well, a lot more sarcastic than the other guy. But Yuta's the other guy. Sorry, Yuta's a bit more straightforward than Nobita. Nobita like says some wild shit sometimes, but I like them both. But so just again, we're on the women chapter of this fucking podcast, right? So hold on, let's see. There's some information here. Anyway, making sure I'm not okay, sorry about that. Let me make sure I'm not like hold on one second. Okay, I think this will be okay. Okay, all right. Okay, anyway. What am I talking about? Okay, sorry, let me get focused. So here we go. Nobita's 10 types of Japanese girls, right? This is kind of interesting because his list he gave, I really agree with. The one thing I would say though is that he definitely gives some whatchamacallit, types of girls that can be kind of intermingled, if you will, and can be kind of clumped together. Like, it's not like a static list. You know, he came up with the list on his own, but you know, sometimes some of the categories can be lumped together or mixed together to create another type of category. So I'm just gonna go through them, give my opinion on these types of Japanese girls, and you know, some feedback or whatever. And please go ahead, it's in the link, and you know, again, I'll try my best to start a new playlist with some of his shit on there. So first one is dumb Japanese girls, right? Hey, he said it, I didn't say it, okay? But yeah, it's true. Pretty much these are some of the girls or women who are some of the most calculating, you know. They're dumb because they're pretending to be dumb. I don't know, I can't give what percentage or how much, but to some degrees, like, they do pretend to be dumb to get attention from guys, or, you know, become more appealing to guys. Some guys like it, some guys don't. I'm not in that category. It's probably one of the most annoying categories of Japanese girls to me. It's for a lot of different reasons I just won't get into, but you know, depending on your personality, these are more the quote unquote cute girls. And again, I'm into cute girls, not really sexy girls. Let me say it again. I'm into sexy girls, not cute girls so much. You know, women with sex appeal, as far as like just being cute. Watch his video. If I do put this on a playlist, I'll probably do it where his video comes first and then my video comes after. So hopefully if you're watching this on a playlist, you've seen his video already. Anyway, so that will probably be my advice then, just to break the situation. If you are listening to this or listening to this or watching this, stop the podcast now and go ahead and watch his video first, and then it'll make this go a lot smoother. Anyway, all right, I'm hoping you've done that, so I'll just what the fuck am I waving around? That's what kind of freaked me out. I'm waving around. Okay, I'm not waving around anything important. There's a bunch of stuff on here, but it's not anything important. Anyway, Tsundere girls. I've never heard of this. And he cited some TV drama, which I really didn't know about. But apparently, tsundere girls are really blunt, cold, and harsh. Japanese girls I've not dealt with in a romantic way, but you know, had interactions with these type of girls in some points. You might deal with some of these women in your workplace, if you will. I can think of one in particular. And on the surface, they're like M&Ms. That's what I can think of. Like, you know, candy coated on the outside, chocolate on the, not really chocolate, but, you know, soft, gooey chocolate. M&Ms aren't gooey, but you know what I mean. Like they're soft on the inside. So even though they have a hard exterior, if you can get through to them, they are, you know, quite lovable, quite funny, typical women, you know. But the art outside is quite harsh. And I would say these type of Japanese women, you can't really get on to the inside. I'm not talking like in a bedroom type of way necessarily, but but you can't really get inside their exterior without their respect. And them respecting you, I would say, meaning the understanding that you know about Japan, know about Japanese culture, know about the Japanese way of doing things. If you can get past that level, then you can earn their respect because you're kind of seen as their equal. But if you're just like another fucking gaijin dude, like, you know, here doing a bunch of dumb shit, you're not gonna get their respect. Either they will ignore you, or like say some real harsh shit to you. Pretty much is what I imagine. But if you let them know that you know what's up, and not in like a confrontational kind of like way, on their terms, it flips the whole script. So the number 3 is pure Japanese girls. Like, and these are kind of girls or women that you'll see on Japanese TV, in movies, you know, and pretty much I'd say like, yeah, the quote unquote, he says it too, that quote unquote ideal image of a Japanese woman, if you will. Elegant, understated, supportive, strong, dignified, you know, sensual, alluring. I can keep going on and on and on, you know. But yeah, like, these women are, I'd say, interesting, have depth to them. Yeah, a lot of times sophisticated, if you will, conservative, I would say, especially very conservative. So yeah, I mean, it depends on who you are, what your background is, what their type is, but you know, these, for me, like, I'm just thinking from the perspective of like a foreign guy just in Japan experiencing life in his like mid to late 20s, possibly early 30s. This type of girl is the type of girl who will have fun with you as a boyfriend, but wouldn't consider you as a husband, you know, if you will. Or if she does start to consider you as a husband, you'll run into problems down the line, unless you really got your shit together. If you got cash, if everything's all good, then you have the high ground. But if you're just trying to figure life out, you'll be fun to hang with, but you'll have problems down the road. Okay, next is carnivorous girls. Carnivorous girls is, you know, again, really aggressive man-eaters, if you will. Japanese man-eaters. They're more like that from a media kind of thing, because there are a certain subset of Japanese, especially younger Japanese guys, who are more passive, herbivorous guys, you know, so think dinosaurs. You know, the carnivorous women are like, come here, motherfucker, and the guys are like, ee. Yeah. That was the best explanation ever. But yeah, I don't really know what these women are like. I hear about it. I don't really see it. Again, maybe because I'm a motherfucking man. Yeah. No, because, you know, I'm like a old school kind of guy. So, you know, I don't really, what's the word? I'm not a passive guy, especially around women. So, you know, a woman like that really wouldn't really dominate me in a certain way. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wouldn't feel intimidated by a woman like that. So I might have interacted with women like that in the past, like just going out, hanging out, talking with someone, but I might not have even noticed it because I'm just doing me. And if she says some shit, it's like, okay, like, you know, all right, you're a strong woman, whatever. Like, I'm not saying this is to mean women, but what I mean is, like, you know, I'm not going to, I mean, you know, like like I said before, I'm an accommodating person, so I'm not gonna be like, yo, I'm the motherfucking man. What you fuck you talking about? But at the same time, I'm also not gonna be like, oh shit, you're a strong woman. You know, I'm not gonna be like that. So this category for me, I hear about it, but I don't really know what it is, just because it doesn't really, I don't think it really applies to me, so I can't really call it that one. Number 5, Gyalu, Japanese women, Japanese girls, which is a dying subgenre. Nobita even says it, so it's not even really worth talking about too much. If you are dating Gyalu, or even like a girl with Gyalu traits, but for me personally, even because, you know, I was in Japan when Gyalu culture was still kind of popping here, and I just gotten here. But as a black dude, I feel like black dudes and Gyalu don't really mix. I would say even foreign dudes and Gyalu don't even really mix. And so, I would think Gyalu in general would not be as interested in foreign guys, except as a novelty. And even dating one of them wouldn't really be that interesting. I mean, I remember when I first came here, they dress very sexually. You know, lots of revealing clothes, lots of skimpy clothes. There's a lot of different subcategories and subgenres. Maybe one day I'll get into it. But I remember coming here, you know, seeing basically girls looking like hoochies, you know, like they got basically wearing bras and mini skirts. And like, I'm like, oh, you know, I'm 22. I'm like, okay, what's up with that? What's up? You know, what's up? but you know, I quickly found out that, one, they weren't interested in me. 2, there really wasn't much substance there. And 3, they travel in packs. So, you know, like, just trying to isolate and holler at one is pretty much a tall order, you know, unless you go into the Ichimaru building and then just try and directly holler at somebody, which is just the sleazeball move. I just wouldn't do that. So, so it's just, I never had any serious interaction with any Gyalu ever. So, you know, and some of the other subcategories of Gyalu is just not something I would be interested in at all. So, gotta skip that one. Another one, you're gonna be have to deal with business Japanese girls or Japanese women. These women are working, kind of workaholics. Now, they are pretty much common, especially in the Tokyo area. I'm thinking of one person in particular. They are, for me personally, kind of attractive, you know, just because they're so uptight. I'm like, loosen up, girl. Like, loosen up, girl, you know. But again, being a single guy, I would say my advice to a single guy, a new single guy, would be, yeah, you're going to have to play second fiddle to work. And if you do get in a serious relationship with a girl who is serious about her job, at some point in time, if you're not really serious about life, or you're trying to figure out what you want to do, you're going to come to heads, you know, because remember, like I said, like, the situation for women, especially women with a career path, is not that accommodating here in Japan. It's getting better, but it's not. So in her mind, she's going to be thinking, if she's thinking about you as a serious boyfriend, she's also thinking about you as a potential husband, as a potential father, as a potential life partner, as someone who's going to be able to provide for a family, right? And at some point in time, late 20s, early 30s, the hammers are going to come down, you know. And so these, in my feeling, business Japanese girls can turn into tsundere Japanese girls, the kind of blunt, strong type. And if you're married to one of these girls or women, you can imagine, like, you know, if she's making more money than you, she has a more stable job than you, she starts getting up in that ass about, like, getting your shit together and being like a typical Japanese salaryman. It might not be that much fun. So just, that's kind of my word of caution with that. But on the other side, like, you know, I would say my feeling impression is that, like, you know, because they're so uptight, the offside of it, you know, would be, without getting too detailed, would be fun, would be enjoyable, if you know what I'm saying. Like, you know, when she is kind of like lets her hair down, could get interesting. Is I'm gonna leave it there. Okay. All right. Number 7, housewife wannabe Japanese girls. Yeah. And for me, the one note I have, out of all the girls on this list, this would be the biggest equivalent to a Japanese gold digger, right? These would be the gold diggers. Dumb girls and gold diggers would be the main ones, right? Because they're, you know, if you watch the video, they are looking for a husband. They're looking for, you know, a rest haven. They're looking for someone to take care of them and to make sure everything's going to be all right. Which, what that means is you're going to have to provide. And you're not just going to have to provide. You're going to have to provide something that matches their image of what they want. And it was what they were looking for. Now, you know, and the upside to that, if you can do that, they'll be a loyal wife, take care of everything. You don't have to do shit. You know, they'll be cooking, they'll be taking care of place spotless, you know, everything. Genki ass wife will be great, but you can never fuck up. If there's no like, we'll figure it out together, honey. There's no like, you know, XYZ happened. It's like, you need to provide a stable home and for the rest of your life for her. That's it. And your kids. No questions asked. That's what she's looking for. And depending on what level she's looking for, you know, my advice, if you're dating someone and you have a suspicion that you're dealing with that type of girl, find out very quickly what her image of life is she wants, you know, because you're going to have to meet that. And you're going to have to meet that immediately. If you're her boyfriend, as soon as you get married, you're going to have to meet that. Like, so there's no questions asked. There's no maybe if, like, she's going to make your life a living hell if you don't. And if anything happens and there's any like cracks in the castle, your life is going to be a living hell. I was listening to, it's funny, like an example of that. I was listening to someone, I forgot who it was, but one of my students told me a story of something happened. I won't get into details because I won't tell details about what my student said. But basically, something happened, and I guess like they had a happy family, everything was like that, and the husband fucked up and he did something kind of stupid, not a deal breaker, but kind of stupid. And it kind of affected, not like cheating or infidelity or anything like that, but something kind of stupid. It affected like the general peaceful tranquility of the household. And basically the wife was like, we're going to take care of this. Don't you ever fucking do this shit again. If you do, I'll divorce your ass in a heartbeat. Like, I'm pretty sure she was serious. Like, you know, my image is that type of girl, that type of woman. Everything, she's all smiles and giggles. Hey, you want some pancakes? Hey, you want some steak? Hey, what do you want for dinner? Hey, I'll go grocery shopping. But if you fuck with the tranquility at home, she's on your ass like fucking velociraptor. Okay, so that for me, a gold digger would be that. Not necessarily looking for the huge come up, but looking for a rest haven. All right, let me get through these because I got to work tomorrow and I'm working my way through this cognac. Oh shit, it's almost 1 o'clock in the morning. Okay, yeah, all right, I'm working my way through this cognac, so, you know, we gotta, yeah, it's about an hour. Okay, let me just try and wrap this one up. All right, I'm gonna go through these last ones kind of quickly because they're not really, these two. Gaijin hunters, I don't really have, okay, you're gonna encounter Gaijin hunters. If you remember my story about, I don't think the girl with the like ruby fake chain that took me to izakaya and tried to feed me chicken. Gosh, just saying that, just like, okay, anyway, I don't think she was a gaijin hunter. I think she was just trying to like come up on an opportunity because she knew I was new to Japan. But generally, my only advice would be Gaijin Hunter chicks, they can smell your newness in Japan. So just be aware of that. That's my only one thing. They know before you know. Like as soon as you walk through the door, if you're new to Japan, there's some Japanese girl in the shadows, ready to like pounce on your ass like a fucking snow leopard because she knows that you're new to Japan. That's all. I'm just telling you. All right, number 9, mommy girl, which is mama's girls, who are just always around their mama. Again, I'm gonna kind of like try and connect a few of these categories to the best of my ability in a second. But number 10, foreign influence girls. For me, these are the coolest chicks you're gonna meet if they're not too far in the spectrum. There's a spectrum of foreign influence, like girls. There's girls who like, fuck, I hate Japan. Everything foreign is great. But that's kind of like a little bit weird to me. Those are kind of weirdos to me. Like the good balance is like, I know about life outside Japan, but I'm still Japanese, but very open-minded, exposed to other countries, but still, grounded in my Japanese-ness. And my wife, I would say, fits the final category. And, so we can experience life out. We can experience other cultures, music, things together, movies. I told you we went to see The Hangover the first time, in the movie theaters together. We were the only 2 people laughing the whole movie. We went to see Tropic Thunder. We were the only 2 people laughing our asses off the whole fucking movie. So like, I'm dead serious. The whole theater was quiet. I felt bad because I was like, we were rolling, and everyone else was just like chewing popcorn, So we were just like dying. So like, that's kind of why I love my wife, because I can have those type of things with her, those conversations with her, even if we don't necessarily agree 100% all the time, but I can have those conversations with her. It just makes things so much easier. So generally speaking, like, foreign influence girls are, I think, a lot of the international relationships I see happening in Japan, with I'll just leave it there. All right, so let me just try and connect a few of these dots. So if I had to connect dumb girls, I'd connect dumb girls with possibly pure Japanese girls or carnivorous girls. Yeah, again, depending on what kind of role they're trying to play. Tsundere girls, I gotta ask somebody about this. Again, business girls is kind of go together in my opinion. Oh yeah, dumb girls, also housewife, wannabe girls kind of goes together. Carnivorous girls, maybe business girls, maybe Gaijin Hunter girls as well. I'm not quite sure. Again, I just don't have too much experience interacting with this type of women. I'll just be like, yo, that's just not my type at all. That's not my vibe at all. So I just kind of like push that to the side, especially from drinking. I just have no patience for that shit at all. Yeah, business girls I talked about, housewife types I talked about, Gaijin Hunters, Gaijin Hunters, maybe business girls, possibly, Tsundere girls, possibly. I think I talked about, what's his name, V-Dog, whatever his name is, C-Dog, V-A, I think it is. If you remember a few episodes back, he was talking about a date that he went on. The girl was just rattling off a bunch of conditions. She seemed to me like a Gaijin Hunter, Tsundere girl mix, sounds like I'm talking about like puppies or something, but my apologies, Japanese women, or women in general, if you think I'm disrespecting you in any way, but I'm just giving you the real on how I see it. Mommy girls, and dumb girls, and possibly housewife wannabe girls. I was thinking about this as well. I think the mommy girls are, the children of housewife wannabe girls. Why? Because they have terrible relationships with their husbands, probably not having a sexless relationship. So the husband's probably out somewhere cheating. He's providing, but their focus, all their energy on the kids. That's something that happens in a sexless, sometimes loveless relationship. All the energy gets poured onto the kids, right? So just look out for that if you're in an international relationship here. Like, what's the relationship with the mom? If the dad's like a ghost somewhere in the breeze, that's an indicator of something else going on behind the scenes that you're going to want to be aware about, which means, especially if they're still married. I mean, now divorce is kind of like a possibility in Japan, but people still stay together. So, especially if they're in a family with a bit of money, and the daughter is really strongly connected with the mom, it means because the mom doesn't have to spend time with her husband, because he's an asshole, which means the husband or your quote unquote possible father-in-law might be hawkish on you and be like, how are you going to provide for shit? Which means behind the scenes, the mom might feel the way, which means that's possibly can come back around to you. It's interesting, like when you're dating someone, on the first date, you don't think about all these things, but all these forces are culminating behind the scenes, and one day they will just come crashing on your fucking head. So just be aware of it. I talk to younger coworkers, younger colleagues about this shit all the fucking time. Just be aware of it. That's all I'm saying. And the last one, foreign influence girls. If I have to match this with a category, I might, depending on the person, it could be a business Japanese girl mix. It could be carnivorous girl mix. It could be tsundere girl mix. Or possibly a gaijin hunter mix. Just depending on the person, the situation, whatever. So that's about it. So, take that with whatever and do with it what you will. And yeah. All right. So let's stop it right there. So all right, we're exactly about an hour into it. So thanks again for listening. Thanks again for all this. We'll probably have another cognac episode like coming up soon because I got another bottle of cognac coming. So all right, check out the links. And yeah, we'll leave it there. So all right, y'all. I'll let you next time. Peace.